How's it going, everybody? Combo here. Today we got 5 quick tips to the Flashbang here in Season 5 of the Finals. I'm making this video for a few reasons. One, because, well, the Flashbang has been slowly getting buffed since the launch of the game, and where it stands right now with its huge radius, its effectiveness, as well as its super short cooldown, the Flashbang can be very strong and at times kind of oppressive if you have 3 people on your team running them. I'm also making this video because I've had a very loyal commenter ask for this video many times, so for those people who think maybe I don't read the comments or I don't see everybody's, I definitely do. Your voices are heard, so here we are with this video. Anyways, I'm gonna quit yapping and show you guys some cool stuff, so let's get right into it. Alright, so starting out with number 1, we have perhaps the most important thing when using the Flashbang, and that is the indicator. So a lot of people, what I see, if they're fighting, they don't really think too much. They see a doorway, they're like, alright, chuck the Flashbang in there, look away, and that can definitely work. However, if you really want to up your Flashbang game, something you should practice doing is really positioning where you want that Flashbang to explode in a perfect manner. So if you hold down the throw, as you can see right here, it's going to tell me where it's going to land. But if I just look up a little bit, you see that little explosion right there? That actually tells me exactly where my Flashbang is gonna land. And this is really important because, for example, right, one of the great things about the Flashbang is if I hit somebody, it's gonna give me a hit marker, even if it doesn't do damage. So if I want to check a very specific area to see if there's a person, knowing exactly when that's gonna explode, I can look at a doorway. Maybe I want to hover a doorway to see if somebody's camping behind a corner, and I throw this, I know it's going to explode right when it hits the ground right there. As you can see, I can check doorways more effectively, as well as when you're looking at things like high ground, right? A lot of people will just chuck it, but if I look at this and I say, okay, I want it to explode right here, I check it right there, as you can see, boom. Doesn't seem like a big deal at first, but I'm telling you, practice holding it down. And you know, the more you do this, the less you're gonna have to really aim that because you're gonna get used to exactly when it's gonna explode. But general rule of thumb, look at your target, find out where that thing's gonna explode, and you can have much more precise flashbangs, as you can see right here, right on that heavy's forehead. Alright, so at number 2, we have something super spicy. This is for all my Riot Shield mans out there. This is the Riot Flash. This is super strong. In my opinion, I barely see this used, and if you're using Riot Shield, I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage of this. So what we're doing here is we're using the Riot Shield's ability when you are guarding to block explosions. Well, if you didn't know this, even though there's like a glass frame right there, it actually allows you to block flashbangs. So what that means, right, if I'm looking at this target, let's say I'm pushing up, I'm using the side of the Riot Shield to close that distance, but I want to really make this fight one-sided. If I'm looking at this target, all I like to do generally is I'll run to the side, I'll underhand a flash, as you can see right here, and if I hold down the block, as you can see, I don't get flashbang. Now at close ranges, of course, this can be a little redundant because, you know, it's better just to smack them, but at longer ranges, right, let's say this target here is trying to take me out, if I throw it here, maybe bounce it and put this down, he's 100% gonna get flashed there. And because you have 2 charges, right, looking at where they move, if you throw a flashbang right on top of somebody like that, there's not really a direction they can look without getting flashed. So if you really want to bully somebody, what you can do is if you take your Riot Shield, once again, I'm looking at this target, let's say I want to close that gap, let's say I just underhand a frag right here, or flash rather, put that there, he gets flashed, I put another one behind him, hold this down. He really doesn't have a whole lot he can do unless he's also using a Riot Shield. This does not work for dual blades, so this also makes a very good counter for that. So if you're using the Riot Shield, just keep this in mind. Next up at number 3, we have the Safeway. Don't worry, lights, I got you covered with this one. Heavies, you're coming up in a bit. So the Safeway is exactly what the name sounds like. We're trying to make the gateway more safe. So I'm going to preface this by saying this is most ideal when you have other people on your team using flashbangs. 3 would be ideal, but at the same time, right, if you only have 2 or just yourself, it's still very effective. So what we're gonna do here, because the flashbang, as I said in the beginning of the video, has a very short cooldown, and you get 2 charges, this has a 2-step process to basically guarantee that you are safe going into a doorway. So the first thing you would do, of course, is chuck in the gateway. If you think there might be enemies, the first thing you're gonna do is underhand a flashbang into the gateway. If you get a hit marker, of course you know there are enemies. If you get a hit marker, always throw in a second flashbang to ensure they are flashed. If you have more people on your team using the flashbang, coordinate when you throw it. So tell your team, hey, I'm putting down a gateway. They will throw down their flashbang into it, you throw down your flashbang into it at the same time. Most importantly though, you cross directions so you hit every single corner of the room. I know that sounds like a lot, and once again, if you hit that hit marker, all of you will throw your second flashbang to ensure that basically that room is done, right? There's no chance they can do anything. So I'll show you what that looks like here if I want to get into this building. Throw down my gateway, throw down my other one here. First thing I'm gonna do, throw down a flashbang. Let's say I get a hit marker, all my teammates did that as well. Get a hit marker, throw in the second one, wait for that to explode, get in here and light them up. Once again, if you have 3 people on your team using flashbangs, that's 6 flashbangs. The enemy team literally cannot do anything. If you take nothing from this video, definitely give this a try. This is super, super oppressive. I can maybe even see this being a reason that the flashbang gets nerfed. I'm telling you, give it a try. Super, super strong. Definitely worth your time. Alright, next up at number 4, we have the engagement break. This one's really short and simple, but I wanted to put here because it works on every single build, every single map. Basically is exactly how it sounds. Most of the time, people like to use flashbangs to be aggressive. This is a defensive way to use it. So as you can see here, if I look up and hover my flashbang, you'll see that it doesn't quite explode when I chuck it up. However, when I jump, as you can see for a split second, you see that little explosion over my head? That tells me essentially, that tells me that when I throw down this flashbang, it's going to explode right where I'm standing. And this is really good for disengaging, because if I can make it explode right before the ground, I can ensure my flashbang is not affected by any of the terrain around me, assuming of course there is area for me to throw it up. So for example, right, let's say I'm taking engagement fire or anything from this guy here. If he's chasing me and I want to disengage, if I slide this corner here, maybe chuck it up right there, as you can see, that's going to ensure it explodes right here. If I'm getting chased, this does 2 things. One, at a minimum, if I don't want to engage that fight, it's going to make that guy run away or probably lose me. Or second, if I have a little bit more health, maybe I'm getting chased, right? I drop down this flashbang, he doesn't realize because it's a little higher, he gets flashed, I can then turn on him and possibly win that fight if I can hit my shots. So that's the disengagement flashbang. Give it a try. Pretty simple to pull off and pretty effective in the right scenario. And finally, at number 5, we have the Goof Flash. I told you, have these were coming up, and because you waited so long, I actually have 2 tips for you. One with, of course, the goo gun, and then one with the barricade. This is very similar to the riot shield. This is very good for heavies because you got a lot of close range weapons, and this allows you to push into doorways without, immediately getting lit up because you're the size of a freight train. So, for example, to pull off the goo gun flash combo, all you're gonna do, so let's say for example, I want to push this corner, but I don't want to flash myself and I want to flash my enemies. All you're gonna do is throw the flash to where you want it. Where that flash lands, this is very important. You're gonna pull out your goo gun and shoot directly in front of it. Do not shoot on top of your flashbang because this will cancel it out. So once again, if I want to push this corner, I'll underhand my flash and then I'll shoot my goo right in front of it. Even though it seems like I should get flashed right there, as you can see, it will not do that. This is especially effective, as I said, if you want to push into doorways. This is also very good with Sledgehammer. So if I walk over to this wall, break it down right, then I throw in a flash right here, put down that goo gun, I don't get flashed. That allows me to come in here and wreak havoc, even though I'm too fat to fit through this little area. The other option you have if the goo gun is not your style is the barricade. So once again, if I'm pushing a target, for example, I'll throw this down, wait for it to flash, put down my barricade. I have 2 options. If you want to be aggressive, you can mantle over it, or if you just wanted to flash them and then peek for cover, you can do that. You can also pick it up. So as I said, the mantle would look something like this. I'm looking at this target, I'm pushing, put it down, mantle over, he's flashed, and I can do some damage. The other one, as I said, is I throw down that flash, peek cover, and pick up my barricade. All these are very powerful. I would highly recommend you give it a try, and let me know what you think in the comments. Anyways, everyone, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below. Once again, I think the flashbang is very strong, and with enough practice and coordination especially, it can be very, very powerful. I want to take this time to thank all my channel members on screen now. You guys are the lifeblood of this channel. Once again, also for those people who see me online, even if you aren't a channel member, of course, channel members will take priority. If you want to become one, this will allow you to, if you see me online, shoot me a message, we'll play some games together. It's not like on stream or anything, just kind of casually, we can chat, whatever you want to do. Shoot me a message and we'll do that. I have a community post coming out soon because I did change my online name. So if you tried doing it before, that's why. Anyways, guys, this has been Combo. Thank you so much for coming and watching. Stay home, stay safe, and yeah, peace out, everybody. Later.